Good morning, everyone. We are on day 3 of Medical Mission, where we are focused on ensuring the medical wellness during preconception planning. I hope that you are enjoying our sessions and also doing your activities up to date. Today's session is on tracking your fertile period. Whenever we are in preconception planning phase, we often are confused. When are the good days? What are the days when I should try for conceiving my baby? So we have Dr. Nishi here who is going to enlighten us on this very, very important concept. Over to Dr. Nishi.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Neetu. Actually, this is a very important concept because when couples are planning to conceive, they have very little idea about the fertile days because it is good to start planning on the fertile days because the semen quantity and the semen concentration and the quality also differs if the trial for conception is done in a particular way. So I'll guide the parents through what is the right time and how to track the fertile period. So fertile period is also equivalent to the ovulation time because the fertile period, it actually stretches from 2 days before the ovulation to 2 days after the ovulation because the ova is viable for 2 days. The sperms are viable for 4 to 5 days. So the fertile period is 2 days plus minus the time of ovulation. Although it depends on the length of your cycle and the expected time of the ovulation is 14 days before the expected date of the next menstruation. But because the next menstruation may not be fixed, if the cycles are very regular of say 28 days, then we expect the ovulation to happen on the 13th or 14th day, 13th, 14th or 15th day. While if the cycle is of 30 days, the expected date of ovulation would be around the 15th, 16th or the 17th day. But there are times when the cycle is not very regular. So we have another system for calculating the fertile period. If the cycles are too short or too long, if they are regular, for example, if the cycle is regularly at 21 days, so we expect the ovulation to happen sometime on the 11th or 12th day. But if the cycles are irregular and there are too short and too long cycles, so we can calculate the expected time of ovulation by subtracting 18 days from the shortest cycle and subtracting 11 days from the longest cycle. So I will just give you an example for this. If the cycle, the shortest cycle is say 21 days or say 22 days, and you subtract 18 from that, it comes to around 4 or 5 days. So your actually fertile period will start from 4th or 5th day of the start of the menstruation, and it will end. Now if your longest cycle is say 35 days, you subtract 11 days from there and it comes to I will have to calculate 35 days, 5 days gone from here, 5 days here, 1 day, so it's around 23rd day. So if the cycle is of cycle length is 35 days, so it comes to around 24th day. So your fertile period will extend from 4 to 5 days to 22 to 23 days. So that is the way you can calculate. But the major, to simplify things further, it is good to calculate around the, if most of the times if the cycles are, say, some cycles are 22 days, some cycles are 35 to 40 days, but most of the cycles are around 28, 29, 30 days, then the calculation of the expected date of ovulation could be made by subtracting 14 days from the expected last menstrual day, the next expected menstrual day. So this we have already talked about. I would now like to understand how do we confirm the ovulation. The confirmation of the ovulation is done by certain methods. One could be the self-detection technique, and the other is somebody else is helping us detect. So if the periods are regular and painful, then that means that is quite an gives us quite an idea of that ovulation has happened. So little pain during the periods is a good sign actually. And to further understand when the ovulation is happening, this is the chart, and this can be simplified in the following way. One is the basal body temperature. Basal body temperature means that before leaving the bed early in the morning, if you're checking your temperature, then the temperature, you will see an increase in the temperature by 0.5 degree Fahrenheit. So it will give you an idea that ovulation has happened. Second would be checking the saliva. This cannot be done at home, but of course, this can be done in the lab. The saliva is taken, it is spread on a slide, and there is a typical ferning pattern that can be seen in the saliva and also in the cervical mucus. So this is called saliva ferning pattern, and the cervical mucus ferning pattern. So this can be seen in both the secretions. There is ovulation pain, as we talked in the previous discussion. So a little bit of pain, which is called Mittelschmer's syndrome, is actually the little ovulation pain which is happening in the mid-cycle. Cervical mucus starts getting thicker in the around the time of ovulation. The cervical mucus becomes very, very thin because it has to allow the sperms to move from the vagina into the uterus and then go into the fallopian tubes. But when this the mucus changes from thin to thick, that is a sure shot indication that ovulation has happened. Breast tenderness is more in the ovulatory cycles. That means when ovulation has happened in the latter part of the cycle, you will feel a little bit of tenderness in the breast. And as the time goes by, and if the tenderness is increasing, so that could also be a sign of pregnancy. Yes, of course, because this is the time when the ovum is very receptive to the presence to the sperms, so there is an increased sexual desire also. The external methods to check for the ovulation is one is the LH kit. These are kits which are available in the market. They work similar to the urine pregnancy test kits, but you have to keep in mind that as in the urine pregnancy test, you are doing the first sample in the morning when you wake up with the urine. That is passed the first in the morning. To use the LH kit, you have to be very, very careful to be using it with the second sample, urine sample in the morning, which is around 10 to 11 a.m. So if you are using this external method in the form of LH kit, you need to use it from the start of your fertile period. So as we say that the fertile period starts around 2 to 3 days before the expected date of ovulation, and it extends to 2 to 3 days after the ovulation. So actually you start checking it with a regular cycle from the 9th day onwards with the second morning urine sample. It is done in the same way as you do a urine pregnancy test. There is a small well. You can just drop in 2-3 drops of urine and you see for 2 lines. The positive test is if you see that the test line is darker than the control line, then it is considered to be positive, and that is the time when you stop doing the test. It gives an indication that the hormone which is necessary for the ovulation is actually increased in the body, and that ovulation is going to happen approximately 20 to 24 hours after this test is positive. Remember that this has to be done on a daily basis because you never know when this rise of the hormone in the urine is detected. So do it on a daily basis and stop doing when the test line is darker than the control line. And this is a very good test to track the ovulation. The second way by which ovulation can be tracked is by the follicular study with the sonography. Here you need to understand that the sonography for the follicular monitoring is started normally on the 9th or 10th day of the period. As we do the LH kit test at home, the sonography is normally done every second day till the time that the ovum reaches a stage or a size where it is about to rupture. For example, if it reaches more than 18 to 22 millimeters, that is the time we expect that ovulation can happen anytime, and then it is done on a daily basis till we see that the follicle has ruptured. So the sonologist will guide you into when it has to be done on alternate day basis and when it has to be done on a daily basis. So moving on to the next slide. So ovulation, every cycle may not be ovulatory. So one should not be, that in stress that ovulation is not happening. So it is absolutely okay, because there could be some cycles which are ovulatory and some cycles which are not anovulatory. So we can just check in the next cycle that ovulation has happened. But persistent anovulation, where ovulation is not happening, could be because of various conditions. One is the cause is not known. It is called idiopathic. It could also be because of the low anti-Mullerian hormone, which is a hormone done with a blood sample. And this is an indicator of fertility. So if this anti-Mullerian hormone is low in the body, there are medicines to help increase the level of the anti-Mullerian hormone, and ovulation can be supported with the help of those medicines. Polycystic ovarian disease is one condition which you may come across as anovulatory cycles, because the stroma that is on the surface of the ovary is quite thick, and there could be difficulty in ovulation, but that can be managed with the help of some medicines. And premature ovarian failure, where the ovaries actually they don't produce hormones and they don't produce follicles, where the failure of the ovaries has happened prematurely, which is supposed to happen around the menopause, could be one important condition where anovulatory cycles are happening. So not to worry too much with the anovulatory cycles, because every condition can be treated, and the treatment can be done with the help of certain medicines which aid in ovulation induction. And of course, lifestyle and exercise is a very important way by which ovulation can be aided and enhanced. So as we will discuss in later parts of our session, that the lifestyle, exercise, and these methods, they go a long way in helping you conceive, increasing the fertility, and helping conception to happen. So now get ready for the activity of the day. And I invite Dr. Neetu to give us the activity for the day.
Thank you, Dr. Nishi, for such an enlightening session. And I hope that our participants really learned a lot, real practical knowledge, how to track your fertile period. So today's activity will be actually just look at your cycles. Look at your last few 3 to 5 cycles, look at their duration, and see that when are the good fertile days for, or when is the optimum condition for your baby to come into this world. And we feel so that we better start preparing for them. So what I want you is just take a calendar into your bedroom or wherever you want to keep it, and put a month for today or this month, and see that when are your fertile periods, and make a smiley face over on all those days, so that everybody can understand, your baby can understand, you can understand that these are the good days for your baby to come. So we hope that you do this activity, and we will definitely see you in the next session with another important concept. Thank you and bye for now.